Apartheid was a system of racial segregation in South Africa from 1948 to 1994. This presentation explores the geographical aspects of this segregation, highlighting its impact on the nation's landscape and society. Apartheid, an Afrikaner term meaning separation, was an institutionalized system of racial segregation in South Africa. It was enforced through laws and policies that separated the population by race, ensuring the dominance of the white minority over black, colored, and Asian communities. South Africa's unique geographical location at the southern tip of Africa, with access to the Atlantic and Indian Oceans, played a significant role in its colonial history. Initially colonized by the Dutch in 1652, and later by the British, these powers established a racial domination structure that persisted through the Boer Wars and into the Apartheid era. The segregation laws in South Africa, such as the Population Registration Act and the Group Areas Act, classified individuals by race and designated specific areas for each group. These laws prohibited interracial marriages and required passes for movement, transforming the country's geography into a fragmented landscape of racial division. Townships were urban areas created by the state to segregate the black population from white urban centers. Soweto, a notable example, became a hub of resistance against apartheid. These areas were characterized by isolation, lack of infrastructure, and controlled access, highlighting the stark contrast in living conditions. The apartheid regime established Bantustans, or homelands, as fragmented territories for the black population. This territorial fragmentation aimed to denationalize black South Africans, confining them to areas with limited resources and political power, weakening their resistance to the regime. Thematic maps were crucial in understanding the spatial organization of apartheid. They visually represented population distribution, Bantustan locations, and resource contrasts, revealing the state's control over racial segregation and the formation of a divided nation. Under apartheid, racial segregation permeated every aspect of life, from transportation and education to employment and public spaces. The pass law required black South Africans to carry identification documents, restricting their movement and access to designated areas, reinforcing the oppressive regime. The anti-apartheid movement, led by figures like Nelson Mandela and the African National Congress, organized protests and campaigns against segregation. Despite harsh penalties, including imprisonment, these efforts were pivotal in challenging the regime and advocating for equality and justice. Everyday life under apartheid was marked by stark racial divisions, as seen in public spaces like parks, where segregation was strictly enforced, illustrating the pervasive nature of racial discrimination. Facilities such as water fountains were segregated by race, symbolizing the everyday realities of apartheid's discriminatory policies and the deep-rooted racial inequalities in South African society. Public swimming pools were another area where racial segregation was enforced, highlighting the extent to which apartheid permeated leisure activities and reinforced social divisions. Public swimming pools were another area where racial segregation was enforced, highlighting the extent to which apartheid permeated leisure activities and reinforced social divisions. Protests against apartheid were met with severe police brutality, as seen in the images of demonstrators being forcefully removed, underscoring the regime's oppressive tactics to maintain control. The end of apartheid was driven by internal factors like economic strain and political crises, alongside external pressures such as international sanctions. Key historical milestones include Nelson Mandela's release and the first democratic elections in 1994, marking a new era for South Africa. Despite the official end of apartheid, its legacy persists in the form of spatial and economic inequalities. Townships continue to face challenges, and land distribution remains unequal, highlighting the ongoing struggle for justice and reparations in post-apartheid South Africa.